You're listening to 98.3 KGVB, Grandma Vibes Radio. Welcome back to Grandma Vibes, where we take a moment in the chaos of every day to slow down and rediscover the beauty of a simple, meaningful life, like Grandma used to do. Today, we are enjoying a nice, easy, peaceful afternoon in Grandma's sitting room. It's nice and breezy today. I'm looking forward to the change in seasons. I'm so glad you're here. I'm your host and fellow Grandma in Spirit, KG. Why don't you make yourself a nice cold glass of lemonade and join me for a chat? Sit back and stay a while. Today we are discussing how Grandma knew her neighbors and why building a strong, supportive community can unlock longevity and deep life satisfaction. A few years ago, there was a short-lived sitcom on TV I used to watch occasionally about a bright-eyed young local news reporter hungry to make a name for herself and follow her dreams of becoming a big, respected name in the industry. She stumbled upon a really big news story that actually involved a rival network, one of the big guys in the news world. But before they could run the story that involved corruption from the top, she needed an ironclad source to go on the record. Her boss, a typical crotchety, hard-to-please type who didn't give her the respect or opportunities she deserved, was particularly strict about her proving her sources before attaching the network's name to anything that a junior reporter, such as herself, would report on. She was working against the clock because the story had the potential to be huge, but she needed to be the first voice out there, so of course, time was of the essence. After a couple of days working round the clock, her efforts returned dead-end lead after dead-end lead. Dejected and feeling worse about her chances of realizing her dream than ever before, she turned to her grandmother, naturally, who was the comic relief of the show and a character filled with color and stereotypical, overbearing, slightly irreverent phrases. However, in this episode of the show, her quirks that were usually the butt of the joke paid off. Big time. Turns out, Grandma just happened to know every person and their personal business and their neighbor's life story from Long Island to Queens. They not only found a source for the story just in time, but other stories the news station would uncover, and thus, an unlikely case for community was formed. People not only knew Grandma, but they trusted Grandma. She was a long-standing fixture in the community and was as well connected as anyone could be. In more ways than just being professionally beneficial, Grandma, knowing her neighbors, provided her support in many ways that we aren't seeing in our modern life today. For instance, Grandma knew every family living on her street. She borrowed sugar in a pinch when she couldn't make it to the grocery store. She checked in on the neighborhood kids when they rode bikes up and down the block, making sure they were staying safe. She organized meal trains when new babies were born, brought cookies for holidays and homemade soup when someone got sick. She knew the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers in town, and they all knew her. She waved to people on her afternoon walk, smiled at shop owners, and knew the names of practically everyone in town she came across out on her daily errands. And what about today? many people don't know the names of the people living just a few feet from their doorstep. Maybe we have hundreds, if not thousands, of virtual connections online, but we can't think of a single person who could bring in our mail when we go out of town for the weekend. The feeling of being alone is real. And this feeling is different from being independent, or the feeling of being able to live comfortably on our own terms and take care of ourselves. This feeling is a sense of needing to belong and be needed, and having that desire go unfulfilled. Humans were created for community. Some call human beings the social animal. We seem to have a need to share and connect with other humans. Think about it. Have you ever had really great news and you just kept it to yourself? Me either. You find someone to tell, someone to share it with. Why do we have the innate inclination to connect with others? It's almost like an appetite, as normal and expected as hunger or thirst, it seems. Interestingly, having a lack of meaningful social connections in real life, not just online, causes us to feel a lot more than just disconnected. It can even cost us our physical health and longevity. One of the most influential studies about social relationships was published in 2010 by psychologist Julianne Holt-Lunstad and other researchers, titled Loneliness and Social Isolation as Risk Factors for Mortality, a meta-analytic review. They analyzed 148 different studies and involved over 300,000 participants, and found that people with stronger social relationships had a 50% greater likelihood of survival than those with weaker social relationships. The effect was so great and impactful that the researchers noted it was comparable to the health risks such as smoking and obesity, and exceeded the effects of many other common risk factors, such as having poor sleep habits, poor immune function, and high blood pressure. Having strong social relationships makes people physically healthier, and conversely, having weaker social relationships carries negative physical consequences. The feeling of belonging and connection can quite literally change our biology. It definitely makes one wonder why Sophia was thriving all those years after leaving Sicily. Grandma didn't have social media. She had her neighborhood. Instead of a group chat, Grandma met the group in person, and she had many groups. She chatted with neighbors on front porches. She volunteered for the church bake sale. She caught up with friends at the local diner on Friday nights. She joined the PTA. She had her weekly sewing circle. She took recreation classes at the local community center. These were third places. Now, what on earth is a third place? Sociologist Ray Oldenburg coined the term third place, or places outside the home, which he termed the first place, and work, the second place, where community naturally develops. Like the ancient Greek agora, or the main marketplace in the square, where culture grows and thrives. The third place is the convergence of society and ideas, and what Oldenburg found was key. The third place was a leveler, meaning social status and socioeconomic background don't matter. In the third place, all are equal. Let's think about this incredibly insightful observation for a moment. In the third place, the main activity or goal is fun. Doing an activity for the sake of enjoyment or having lively chatter. These third places were accessible and low profile, meaning few barriers to entry, not exclusive, and most of all, welcoming to anyone that wanted to stop by. I'll age myself a moment with this example, but I'm thinking the bar from the show Cheers. Or for the younger folks, think Central Perk. We have the regulars that are always around. We have the favorite chair we cozy up in. We have the people that we know will reliably be there. It's even within walking distance of where we sleep. What could be better? Research consistently shows these third places improve happiness because feeling connected is a vital, deep need for human beings. Grandma didn't have to schedule the social gathering. She just showed up, and the culture of her day provided her with the society she and everyone around her needed to thrive in their life. What about today? What is our proverbial agora? Do we have a Central Perk? My guess is most of us do not. Or the closest thing we have is the Instagram feed, the TikTok FYP, the Facebook page, the Reddit community. We observe life in pictures and posts, in shorts and reels, and maybe we passively participate by commenting now and again, but we aren't connected to anything in reality. We aren't really engaging. We are simulating. We can catch up with a group in some way, but we can't see body language virtually. We can't go in for a hug or a fist bump online. Could this be why the new loneliness epidemic that is happening in our day is so pervasive? In fact, in 2023, the U.S. Office of the Surgeon General warned that loneliness has become a major health concern. Perhaps it's time to resurrect the neighborhood block party. Professional success grows through relationships. Remember when we talked about hustle culture in episode 1? Well, we all know Grandma didn't hustle, and yet her social web was a seemingly unbreakable chain that spanned cities, counties, states, families, and generations. Grandma knew, or at least knew of, someone anytime she was asked for a recommendation for a good doctor, or a dentist, or a mechanic, or you name it. She could help someone get a good job at a large firm because she once had brought the boss's wife a casserole that one time. Or the president of the company just happened to be in the church choir with Grandma, so she had a good connection. However, those were just some of the incidental, secondary perks that came with Grandma's habit of not just chatting with the people around her wherever she went. She genuinely cared about those people. She wanted to know their story. She wanted to know how she could help them if they ever needed it. She approached her community by asking, "What can I do for you?" instead of, "What do you want now?" You see, Grandma knew something different. It's not just hard work for the sake of hard work that pays off. People open doors for people they know, every time. Cultivating a strong community creates opportunities, meaningful friendships that are fulfilling, both professionally and socially, emotional support, encouragement to go for that job or promotion or even start a new career path. Research in organizational psychology shows that strong workplace and community relationships are linked to higher job satisfaction, better ability to collaborate, and greater career success. In my own professional life, I have found this to be not only true, but the only way to have success and professional satisfaction long term. Developing a genuine interest in one's community and the people you work with and serve creates meaning, even in the 9-to-5. Work can be a place that is fulfilling if you approach it with the attitude of, maybe everyone has something to teach me, and I'm ready to learn. Maybe being rich in social support is more valuable than anything else. Another wise grandma said once, "There isn't a person on earth you wouldn't love if you knew their story." Can you imagine what would happen to our society if we all had that attitude? Viewing each other as souls to help along the journey of life instead of a means to an end or an obstacle in our way. Grandma seemed to view everyone she met as an extension of her own family tree. Why can't we do the same? Why we stopped knowing our neighbors. Much like we discussed in past episodes, the evolution of technology and the optimization of our lifestyle habits could be the cause of our collective lack of strong communities. Let's think about it together for a moment. You're running to the grocery store for some ingredients for dinner. Everyone you see is either wearing earbuds or talking on a phone. Or maybe, instead of hauling off to the store in person, we order grocery delivery so we can stay working in our home office, in our remote job, sometimes not speaking to a single person outside our home for days. A friend of mine recently told me about an experience that I found fascinating. We live in a relatively large, fast-paced suburb of a big American city, but she grew up on a farm in a small town. Her pace of life was slow and simple as a child, and she definitely knew all her neighbors. After she moved to our city in adulthood, she found it hard to connect with the people on her street. One night, after she had put small children tucked into bed, she decided to bake some cookies for the next day and realized she was out of eggs. She asked her husband to run to the neighbor next door and borrow a couple so she could finish the recipe, and then let them know that she would bring them back the eggs the next day when she had a chance to run to the market. So, he went next door. He found himself knocking and standing on a dark doorstep much longer than he thought he should have. It was almost as if he could feel the hesitation from the other side of the door. He eventually saw half a face poke out from the slightly open door and a voice ask skeptically, "What do you want?" Her husband stammered. "I was wondering if we could borrow 2 eggs if you had them. So we're your new neighbors and, my wife is baking cookies and ran out, and we were wondering if..." "You want eggs?" the neighbor interrupted. "You came here to ask me for eggs." The neighbor seemed genuinely confused, even astonished, and very annoyed. Something so natural, so typical in Grandma's day, has turned into a mystifying anomaly in ours. Suffice it to say, that was the last time my friend and her family attempted to get to know their neighbors on that street. It's an unfortunate truth that in our day, we are far more skeptical and critical of the world outside the bubble of our own homes. Maybe it's time we leave Plato's cave and dare to feel the sun on our skin again. Making our social fabric stronger, the Harvard Study of Adult Development. Perhaps the most famous long-term study of happiness began in 1938 and has followed participants for more than 85 years. The study's most consistent finding has been very simple. Good relationships keep us happier and healthier. The researchers found that close relationships predicted longer life, better physical health, lower rates of chronic disease, better memory and cognitive function in later life, and greater happiness and overall satisfaction with life. Interestingly, it wasn't wealth, fame, or career success that best predicted healthy aging. It was the quality of one's relationships. When people have a strong support to come home to, or to go to work with, or to enjoy leisure activities with, their health in almost every aspect of their life improves. The most effective anti-ager wasn't bought in an upscale boutique. It was found on Grandma's front porch. A community that supports and uplifts us, that we can contribute to as well, is proving to be akin to having a superpower. It really makes you appreciate how even superheroes are infinitely more powerful when they team up, instead of fighting solo. Researchers studying the world's longest-lived populations have coined the term blue zones, 5 main regions on Earth where people tend to live longer, healthier lives on average compared to the rest of the world. The people in these places, Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Icaria, Greece, and Loma Linda, California, all share some interesting specific attributes. Strong family ties, close friendships, neighbors who know one another, shared meals often, regular gatherings, and a reported sense of belonging to their community. They are needed, relied upon, accountable to their social and family groups, supported, remembered, and appreciated. These communities all have unlocked the true secret to lifelong happiness, it seems. A life that means something. They make the world better by serving, and they enjoy the benefits of community by accepting the service of others. Everyone doing their part joyfully and reaping the benefits together. If you don't come from a strong community or healthy supportive environment, remember that a strong community and a healthy supportive environment can come from you. Each of us has the power to start now and begin to cultivate a community of chosen family, friends, and neighbors to support and be supported by. After all, Grandma was likely the architect of her strong community. It had to start somewhere, right? Your tribe is waiting. Why don't we start now and go find them? Grandma Challenge. This episode's challenge may require a commitment to getting outside of our comfort zones, but that's the whole idea. As the saying goes, everything you want is on the other side of fear. Our challenge is to strengthen or create a community of our own. Start small or go big. You can learn one neighbor's name, find out something unique about them, learn their story, or at least the highlights. Bake something and share it. Bonus points if you share it on a plate that someone needs to return to you, so you get 2 opportunities to get to know them. Invite someone for coffee or lunch. It's just lunch. Everyone has to eat, right? Attend one local event. a class at the rec center, a community engagement night at the local library, a town hall meeting, a seasonal fair, whatever you can find that would get you out of the house and in the area with your neighbors. Put your phone away on your evening walk. Chances are you'll see someone out walking too, and you can say hello. Join a local organization like the PTA or a booster club, coaching a little league team, or volunteer at a local nonprofit. You might like the feeling that helping others brings. The point is, we don't need hundreds of new friends and a packed social calendar full of fancy organized outings. We just need to offer a hand, have a real conversation, and be a familiar face. That's all. In closing, I heard an interesting story some years back that really opened my eyes. There once was a man living in Europe that scrimped and saved his meager earnings for years in order to buy a ticket on a ship to sail to America. It was a lifelong dream of his to go across the sea. After so many years of working hard and saving every penny he could spare, the day finally arrived when he bought his ticket and boarded the ship. Because the ticket cost him so much, he became extremely frugal. He packed in his suitcase weeks' worth of canned food and washed his own clothes each night in the tiny sink in his cabin on the ship so he wouldn't spend any extra money that he didn't have, for he had spent all of it on that ticket. For weeks, he listened to the grand socials and parties of the other passengers on board. He listened with longing to the lovely band playing music on the deck. He smelled all the delicious food he yearned to enjoy. However, terrified to spend anything, he stayed in his lonely cabin and ate his bland canned food and waited for the ship to arrive at its destination. Finally, the time came when it was the very last night aboard the ship, for the boat would dock in America the next day, and the entire ship was to attend farewell parties. Unable to stand his curiosity and excitement, he decided that he would poke his head out of his cabin to at least catch a glimpse of the festivities. Everywhere he looked, he saw laughter and dancing, joy and celebration. It pained him to not be able to be a part of it. Suddenly, a butler passed by as the man was turning to shut his cabin door. The butler stopped him and asked, "Which party will you be attending tonight, sir?" The man's face fell further as he responded, "None, for I have no money to go." The butler stood silent for a moment. His brow furrowed, and his expression became one of confusion. "Money?" he inquired. "You don't have to pay money. The price of everything was included in your ticket." Are we, like the man on the ship, choosing to not attend the celebrations around us simply because we're afraid of something that maybe we're wrong about? Are we willing to let the parties and the experiences that enrich human life pass us by because we think the price is too high? I think Grandma had the wisdom to know that there is a cost for everything. We pay just as much if we sit on the bench rather than braving the arena and putting ourselves in the game. I think Grandma chose to play the game, even if it meant sometimes she wouldn't be dealt a winning hand. But it was a lot better than sitting it out and watching the game pass you by, wishing you had joined. So, here's to playing the game. Here's to working on getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Here's to turning our little corner of the universe into a blue zone, making memories and learning instead of living in the safety of regret. Let's be brave, like Grandma. Thank you so much for taking a moment to stop by Grandma's house tonight and have a chat with me. If today's Grandma vibe resonated with you, I'd love for you to join me next time when we sit down to a cup of tea and have some cozy chatting again. Remember to bring your friends, because all are always welcome in Grandma's house. And if you feel so inclined, please share something your grandma did or does that you admire. Maybe we can all find something that speaks to us in this community of grandmas in spirit. But always remember the wisdom of Grandma when adding to the conversation. If you don't have something nice to say, consider saying nothing at all. Until next time, may we look outside ourselves a bit more, offer a friendly smile or a helping hand often, and be more intentional about connecting with the people around us, just like Grandma would. Very truly yours, KG.